Ilia Topuria went on the Joe Rogan podcast to talk about the Islam Makhachev fight. He's been going on a lot of podcasts, I think, to help promote this fight, to help push the narrative forward that Ilia needs the next title shot. It's something that I have now talked about on the channel multiple times since this whole thing has started. I mean, this is the big story of the year so far. We thought it would be Tom Aspinall, John Jones. Now the fight that we're all wondering if it's going to happen is Ilia and Islam. And Ilia Topuria went on the Joe Rogan podcast, talked about Islam Makhachev as well as a bunch of other things, and I'm going to react to it, guys. Just hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, and let's see what Ilia Topuria had to say on Joe Rogan. All right, here we are, guys.
My pleasure.
Ilia on Joe Rogan.
My honor.
We never thought we'd be here.
I'm very excited about this new thing you're doing. I'm very excited about your journey into the lightweight division.
Something that I feel very excited also about that.
We're jumping right into it.
What are you walking around at? Like, what do you walk around at when you were fighting at 45?
I'm going to tell you in kilos.
Okay.
I walk around 80, 82.
What is that, Jamie? Like 160, 170?
That's like what?
175?
180.
180? Okay, so you were losing quite a bit of weight. 35 pounds?
25, 30 pounds. Like,
oof.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
how
45.
hard. That was the hardest part.
I mean, seeing Ilia's size, like, I was always surprised, like, that this guy was so big. He never really seemed too big for featherweight. I mean, when you look at guys like Max Holloway, I mean, like, he doesn't look totally out of character. Like, even Josh Emmett, he's a pretty big dude as well. Maybe Ilia just wants to move up to lightweight. Maybe it's an easier weight cut. Maybe he just sees that there's better opponents, bigger names out there for him at lightweight. And obviously getting 2 belts in 2 different weight classes, that's obviously impressive. Like, that's something I'm sure he's chasing too.
I really wish the UFC would eliminate weight cutting. I really wish there was a way.
Why
It
they
doesn't
allowed
make
to
any
do
sense.
that?
I don't. It's sanctioned cheating that everybody has to do. It's like I mean, if you're saying you're 180 pounds, you're not really 145, right? So it's crazy that you're the 145-pound champion, but you're a 180-pound man. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you go to the next weight class, you are playing with a disadvantage because the guy in the next division is cutting a lot of weight. So if you don't do that, at the end of the day, you walk inside the octagon and you are the smaller guy.
Yeah, like Islam.
That's what
Islam
I mean.
Makhachev is huge. I mean, that guy, how he makes 155 is, I don't understand it.
And obviously the whole conversation about weight cutting, I mean, this is something that could be its own video. I think that it's better to, kind of meet in the middle here. Like, maybe cut to 15 at most pounds. Obviously, it's easier for me to say, I'm not fighting in the UFC, right?
If you will be in the Dana's place, who would be my next opponent?
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
I wish they
I tried
do
to tell him
fight.
that this weekend.
That would be a great fight.
One thing that is getting me a little bit worried is both these guys' reaction. That, like, it should be obvious the next fight, Ilia Islam, but it seems like, there isn't this confidence, right? That, Ilia does try to act confident and put up this act that he knows he's getting the next title shot. But I think we saw here, like, a little glimpse of doubt saying, like, he's asking essentially for reassurance from Joe Rogan saying, you think I should get the next title shot, right? He isn't saying that he knows the fight's going to be next. He's, like, saying, look, this should happen. He's trying to convince why it should happen. And he's kind of saying he hopes so. And also Joe Rogan saying he was trying to talk to the UFC, trying to make this fight. So does that mean that he heard otherwise, that they're not going this route? Does this mean that the UFC says, look, we're still figuring this all out? We're going to talk about it in a second. Obviously, there is this whole other layer now to this where apparently Islam Makhachev wants to wait for the Bilal Muhammad and JDM fight, but we're going to talk about that later.
Anyways, if they give me the fight with Charles, it's going to be a good one
fight too.
also.
That's a great fight too. That's
It's
a great fight too. There's a lot of guys in that division.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good fights for you at 155 pounds. Do you have a timeline of when you would like to fight at 155?
I would like to fight with Islam, that's for sure. I would like to fight him.
But if they don't give you that fight, if they give you like a #1 contender fight, when would you like to fight next?
I wouldn't fight for a #1 contender
Really?
fight. No.
You only want to fight for the
Not
title?
surprised. I did kind of see his clip online.
Okay.
Of course.
Not surprised. So Ilia here is basically making it known. He is not, trying to fight a #1 contenders fight. He's willing to fight for the belt.
Really? Okay.
Of course.
I understand. That makes sense to me. Look, also, it's the most marketable fight. Everybody else is lost to it.
One of the biggest.
I don't care if Islam decides that he doesn't want to fight me. I don't care. I said till you're going to have to fight me. Okay? You say that you are the world champion, you're going to keep dominating the division, all that. I'm here. You can't keep avoiding me all the time.
So you would just sit on the sidelines rather than fight someone else?
I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think they would put me on a sideline because they asked me to. I vacated the belt because I told them that I wouldn't fight in 145 again. But I get the promise that I would fight for the title in my next fight.
Wow.
So how much time you will stop me and from the fighting?
So they did give you a promise that your next, when you vacated the belt, that your next fight would be
If
for
they
the title?
give that chance to everyone, why not to me?
Yes.
They gave it to Henry Cejudo. They gave it to Conor
That's
McGregor.
what we
They gave
talked
it to
about the other
George St.
video.
Pierre. They gave it
Yes,
to
George
John.
St. Pierre is
They
a good
gave it to
example.
everyone.
Right. Yep.
And I proved that I deserve that shot.
But this is the most important part, right? This is what we're really here to analyze, is because we have heard a lot of rumors online. We haven't heard straight from the source. We haven't really heard from Dana, Islam, or Ilia. So this is really the first time that we're hearing someone speak out and actually talk fully and truthfully about the situation and what's going on. And it makes sense. Like I've always said from the beginning, you think Ilia Topuria is really going to vacate his title just to fight like a number one contenders fight, to fight an Armin Sarukian? No, guys, he's going to fight for the belt because it's the biggest fight you can make. I hope it's Islam. If it's Charles, that's honestly even just as big of a fight in my opinion. Like I think that is going to be an insane buildup. If honestly, guys, maybe this is a hot take, maybe even more intense of a buildup, maybe more exciting, because you know that fight is going to deliver. And you could see that fight going a number of possibilities. And you know, the Islam fight, I think Ilia Topuria is looked at as more of an underdog.
If you look at it, like
Who
he's
else?
kind of cleaned out the division. There's no
Who else?
no one else. I mean, Arman's got to build himself back up.
Yeah.
He's not going to get a title shot.
I would put Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett.
Yes.
Me against Islam.
I like that.
Once I pass him, I get the title, and you put me against Paddy, because I think that he's gonna.
You think Patty's going to beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow. Really
Wow.
easy.
Yeah, easy.
Really easy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy thing
I'd
to say.
love to
because
see
Justin
Ilia and
Gaethje's a
Gaethje.
fucking animal.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to grapple.
Yeah,
And
well,
Paddy knows.
he's
But
definitely
he's a
shown
Division
weaknesses.
One wrestler. He knows how to grapple. You don't think he knows how to grapple? He just chooses not to. He chooses
I
to
don't
stand
think so.
and fight.
I don't think so. Did you ever saw him submitting someone?
I don't believe he's ever submitted someone, but I think that's because he likes to just crush people.
Like, what is he? What
he
is
likes
Joe
to
Rogan
bang it
talking
out
about,
and
bro?
fight. He used to fight.
What
in a
everyone
Come on,
likes
bro,
is
he's
to
got-
dominate people, and if you have the ability to submit someone as soon as you can, you would do it.
I think that's your mindset. I think Justin Gaethje's mindset is to be the most violent
I'm
person
not
alive.
sure. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
see
and I
Joe
think that's
Rogan
one of the
there.
reasons-
This is all true. And look, at the end of the day, there's different types of fighters, right? Just because you don't know how to submit somebody doesn't mean you're shit, right? That doesn't mean Gaethje doesn't stand a chance. But for Joe Rogan to come out here and act like, no, he could grapple. He was a D1 wrestler. We've seen his wrestling. I mean, the guy doesn't even use his wrestling. So how are we going to say he's a good grappler? And yeah, that was Ilia Topuria on the Joe Rogan podcast, guys. This just makes me even more excited for Ilia going up to lightweight. There's so many fun matchups. Like I said, I mean, Ilia versus Justin, Ilia versus Dustin, Ilia versus Islam. I mean, any of these matchups sign me up. And as I've said, apparently Islam Makhachev is waiting for that Jack Della Maddalena fight. Bilal and JDM, they're going to fight. And since Islam is friends with Bilal, he wants to wait till after the fight. If Bilal loses, he'll move up and wait. But if Bilal wins, then he's going to stay at 155 and most likely fight Ilia. That's what I think is going to happen. That is my prediction right now. But as you guys know, I've been known to be very delusional with how I think these matchups are going to go, what matchups will actually be made. Thank you guys for watching. Check out my last video where we actually talked about Islam Makhachev's coach calling out Paddy Pimblett for the next title shot, guys. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.